Thank you all for joining us today to Fire Station 12's grand opening and ribbon cutting. I'm Kevin Arata with the City of Fayetteville Communications Department, and if you've got your agenda in front of you there, we're going to start today with the presentation of colors and the pledge and a song by the J.W. Kuhn Elementary School behind us here. I will say too that this is going to be treated as an outdoor ceremony even though we're indoors, so those of you who are military veterans can salute during the Pledge of Allegiance according to the National Defense Authorization Act of 2009 and 2014. So I would ask that you please do that if you desire. With that, sir, if we could start with the presentation of the colors.
Present home.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance as the elementary school helps us with that. Thank you, students. What a great job. Let's give them one more round of applause. Now they have to sit still for 3 speakers. All right, unfortunately, Mayor Mitch Colvin won't be able to be here today, but we still do have Chief Ben Major coming up here to make some remarks, followed by Councilmember Dawkins and Ms. Carrie Sutton from the school board. Chief?
Good morning and welcome to our newest facility, Station 12. Station 12, of course, replaces the station that's just about a half mile down the road. And it's, of course, it's been a long time coming, as most of you know. And most of you, anyone who has ever heard me say anything in front of a podium, they always hear me talk about partnerships and relationships. We couldn't get much done without our partners and the relationships that we have built. And this station is an example of the magnificent partnership and relationship we have in this community. First, I want to recognize City Council and our manager being our lead partners. Without their support and their funding from year to year, there's no telling what we would look like as an organization. So we thank you, and if you would please stand up. We thank you. And another big partner in this project is the Cumberland County School Board. Without them, we were struggling to find property for this facility, and they stepped right up and made an offer we could not refuse. So please stand up. Thank you, Ms. Sutton. And of course, I want to recognize our new partners. J.W. Coon School. We met with the principal and staff over the last year, and we really have some great ideas that we're going to bring to the table, and they're going to bring to the table. So we're looking forward with that partnership. And you see an example of that this morning as they sang the Grand Old Flag. So J.W. Coon staff and students, we thank you. And we look forward to working with you all. I'm not going to stand up here and keep y'all in this heat too long. I do want to recognize Councilmember Dawkins for a few words.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Outstanding facility. Impressive. When I got here, the mayor had called me just a little while ago and had said something came up and he regretted not being here. This is a big day and a great day for Fayetteville. I want to ask my colleagues to stand up from the City Council. We have Councilmember Chris right here, Council Lady Waddell, Council Lady Jensen, Councilman Art. I want to thank them for all that they have done. Thank you, council members. The chief recognized the city manager, appreciate him being here, the city attorney, our staff. Thank you for all you have done to make this happen. We want to build more of these. So keep that in the back of your mind. Actually, keep it in the front of your mind. I want to thank also those that have worked so many years to make this facility a reality. It's so impressive. We could not have done this without the participation from the Cumberland County Schools. Chair Sutton, thank you so much. Dr. Lacey, thank you for figuring out how to make all this work. Thank you. Thank you for anyone else that I've missed from the school system, the teachers, the students. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today is a great day for the citizens of Fayetteville, and especially those great Americans who live in the village. Now, Harold Smeltzer knows what I'm talking about when I say when they live in the village. They live in Lafayette Village. This station is going to protect this community. I also want to thank you, village folks, for your patience. The original Fire Station 12 opened in 1956. The attorney who was involved in drawing up the papers for that volunteer fire department was none other than my cousin, Lester Carter. Lester loved representing the fire service, especially the volunteers. He also swore me into office in 2003, the first time at City Council. My cousin Lester passed away a couple years ago at age 90, but I know he's looking down from heaven and smiling. This new Fire Station 12 opens with a great legacy. The men and women who will work out of this Fire Station 12 will carry on the proud tradition of the fire service. Now, some of you are old enough maybe to remember my dad, Mayor J.L. Dawkins. Dad died 18 years ago yesterday. He loved the firemen. He loved the policemen and all the employees of this great city of Fayetteville. Dad tried to make every fire promotion. He especially tried to make every fireman's anniversary with the city of Fayetteville. He was dedicated as no one else that I have ever known. I won't ever be able to live up to what he did, but we appreciate our firemen, our firewomen, our police department, all those every single day, our solid waste employees. I noticed the airport directors here, we've got representatives from all different departments of the city of Fayetteville. That's what this station means to this city. So on behalf of Lester Carter, my cousin, who drew up those legal papers, because by golly, Chair Sutton, you know, we got to keep it all legal. Woo! Drew up those papers, the mayor, the great Americans living in the village who will depend on this new fire station, I say congratulations. To the men and women of this new Fire Station 12, train hard, stay vigilant, and always be ready. You will be called upon to save lives and put out fires. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dawkins. And I do want to recognize a couple of people that are in the audience. Chief Middleton and Chief Hall, I believe I saw. Please stand. And Chief Hall. Chief Middleton was the chief of Lafayette Village Fire Department. So we appreciate the long-standing relationship that we forged with Lafayette Village. And Chief Hall, I did see him. Chief Hall and Chief Piner, Chief Piner is not here, but they were instrumental in moving us over, or moving Lafayette Village into our stock of facilities and staffing the old station, which is that this station replaces. So we appreciate all the hard work that you, Chief Piner and Chief Middleton put in place. Next, I'd like to call up Ms. Sutton, Chairperson of Cumberland County Schools, for a few words.
Thank you, Chief. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here this afternoon or this morning. Our babies are wonderful, aren't they? I want to recognize Dr. Blanton. We have a great partnership with the city and the firefighters. And Chief, it is our pleasure to be part of the partnership with you. I'm just leaving a committee meeting where the topic of the conversation this morning is school safety. What better way than to have a fire station and first responders right here on our campus? We are very proud, very proud. Thank you. And at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Wilson Lacey to come forward and talk to you. He's the one that needs to come up and explain the process because he's the mastermind behind all of this. It seems like just yesterday, come on up, Mr. Lacey. It seems like just yesterday, this was the thought process in committee. And I think Chief came that day and some other representatives from the city, and they presented this idea. But we have to have a team that puts the ideas to fruition. And Mr. Lacey spearheads that part of the team. So I'm going to turn it over to him now and let him explain to you the process and how he made all this work for us.
Be y'all so ready. I tell you, it's bricks and mortar is my forte. I'm a fourth generation bricklayer by trade. And Mr. Chris Shaw kind of converted me to the Bible when I got to Raleigh for a little bit. But nevertheless, when the idea came to us about the fire station, we were just trying to figure out how we were going to fit it in with what little bit of land that we had. So with the architect, I think Gordon Johnson and the engineers, we were able to do some special switching and turning, and even the principal had to move her playground stuff for the children. So I don't think they were quite happy about it. When we told them we were going to relocate it and make it be what it was, then it came across okay. But we are delighted to have an opportunity to always partner with the city. We do quite a few things every day just about with the city of Fayetteville, with the school system, and it's a great pleasure of ours to have that opportunity. This is, and Sister Sutton have already expounded upon it, we talked about safety and security this morning. We just left facilities meeting, and that's a key question. I serve on the Board of Trustees at Shaw University out of Raleigh, and the main calls that we get as trustees is not about the curricula, but it's, are my child going to be safe? And you all know that that's just about an impossible question to answer. However, we do tell them that we will do all that we can to ensure that your child, when they leave home, is safe. We're doing the same thing with the children of Cumberland County Schools. We're going to spend this summer right at $2.5 million to try to ensure that our children are safe. But, however, to have first responders next door to this school and one up the street and close proximity of several others of our schools, it makes it even better to have a total degree of safety. But it was indeed a pleasure of mine. I'm not going to talk about another minute, but we did have to kind of do some working, but you all can see where there's no vision, the people perish, and we had some vision so the people didn't have to perish as it relates to this fire station. But with that said, thank you so very, very much, Chairman Sutton for allowing us in your hand script to enter this contract with the city of Fayetteville. And I want to thank the contract. I don't see them here at the moment. I think it was M&E Contractors along with Gordon Johnson Architect to make this a total, not a mere sacrifice, but a total commit of reality to make this happen. Thank all of you so very, very much, and God bless all of you for the rest of the day.
So we've heard the safety theme up here a few times, and I just wanted to bring up one thing that Councilmember Arp was just reminding me of, especially for our kids behind us here. So 911, good thing to call if you've ever got something. We've got some members from the 911 community out there with us now. So you know about calling 911, right? Yeah? I see a couple of head nods. So the next thing Councilmember Arp wanted me to share with you is that making sure you know this is a safe place you can come to, right? So this building is a safe place, as is any fire department. If you ever have any kind of emergency and you can't get to a phone, you come here, these people can help you. So keep that in mind, all right? All right. So now the ribbon cutting and the cake, right? The cake is coming. So for our ribbon cutting, if I can have all of our elected officials, our members of the school board, and our city manager, Mr. Hewitt, and our city attorney, Ms. McDonald, come over here and grab a pair of scissors, please. All right, 1, 2, 3.